Have you ever faced something hard? Something you knew you needed to do, but every part of you just didn't want to? Waking up early, finishing that project, sticking to a workout, having that difficult conversation. Your mind knows it's good for you, but your body says, not today. Let's rest, let's scroll, let's chill. And that inner fight, it's exhausting. You start to wonder, why do some people walk straight into hard things while the rest of us struggle just to start? Are they born different, stronger, smarter, more disciplined? Or do they simply see struggle in a different way? Today, I want to show you a forgotten method, rooted in ancient Eastern wisdom, sharpened by warriors, monks, and masters of discipline, and now supported by modern psychology. It's called the Lotus Method. This isn't about hustle culture. It's not about grinding until you break. It's not about hating comfort. It's about something deeper. It's about teaching your mind to want the hard path, to see discomfort as meaning, to turn struggle into strength, just like the lotus flower. But before we get there, let me tell you a story, a real story, in 12th century Japan. During a brutal civil war called the Benkei War, there lived a warrior monk named Benkei. When Benkei was young, he wasn't calm, he wasn't wise, he wasn't disciplined. He was wild, stubborn, aggressive. He picked fights with anyone who crossed his path. He believed strength meant dominance, that power meant fear, until one day, he challenged the wrong man, a quiet, focused samurai named Yoshitsune. Benkei expected an easy victory. Instead, for the first time in his life, he lost, and something strange happened. Benkei didn't rage, he didn't run, he didn't blame. He bowed, and right there, he pledged loyalty to the man who defeated him. From that moment on, Benkei's life changed. He trained harder than ever. He traveled through hunger, cold, and pain. He fought brutal battles. He slept in freezing nights. He carried wounds most men would quit from. But he never turned back. Because Benkei learned to see struggle differently. He no longer asked, "Why is this happening to me?" He asked, "What is this building in me?" Pain wasn't an enemy, it was a teacher. Difficulty wasn't a curse, it was a path. And that mindset, the ability to grow through pain, is the heart of the Lotus Method. The lotus flower is one of the most powerful symbols in Eastern philosophy. Why? Because it doesn't grow in perfect gardens. It doesn't bloom in clean water. It grows in mud, in darkness, in dirty, heavy, difficult places. And yet, it rises, it breaks through the surface, and it blooms, pure, calm, and beautiful. The lotus doesn't avoid the mud, it uses it. That is the lesson. The Lotus Method teaches you to stop running from discomfort and start transforming it, not by force, not by anger, but by understanding. Modern science now confirms what warriors knew centuries ago. The brain changes based on what you repeatedly face. Every time you avoid hard things, you train your brain to fear discomfort. Every time you face hard things, you train your brain to trust itself. This is called neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself based on your choices. So the question is simple. What are you training your brain to become? A mind that runs, or a mind that rises? Most people think discipline is about willpower. It's not. Willpower is weak. It fades. It gets tired. Discipline is about identity. You don't do hard things because you feel like it. You do hard things because that's who you are becoming. Benkei didn't become strong because life was easy. He became strong because he learned to walk toward difficulty. With purpose, the Lotus Method is built on that same idea, not "I must suffer," but "I grow through this," not "this is too hard," but "this is shaping me," not "I hate this feeling," but "this feeling means I'm changing." In the next part, I'll show you the first stage of the Lotus Method, the seed in the mud, the stage where growth begins, in darkness, in resistance, in discomfort, because every strong life, every disciplined mind, every powerful transformation starts exactly where most people quit, in the mud. Every lotus begins the same way, not in sunlight, not in beauty, but buried, in cold, heavy mud. No applause, no clarity, no comfort, just pressure, darkness, and resistance. This is where most people quit. They feel discomfort and say, something is wrong. But the lotus never panics. It doesn't rush, it doesn't complain, it stays. This first stage is called nintai, a Japanese word meaning enduring patience. Nintai is not waiting, it is not doing nothing. It is staying steady while things are hard. Samurai trained with nintai. They did not expect ease, they expected resistance, because they knew. The hard part is not a mistake, it is the beginning. Modern psychology calls this psychological flexibility, the ability to feel discomfort, without running from it, without reacting, without quitting. It is the power to say, yes, this is hard, and I will move anyway. Most people lose their future, not because they fail, but because they avoid feeling uncomfortable. They avoid starting, they avoid trying, they avoid continuing, and slowly, they train their brain to escape. Every time you run from discomfort, your brain learns hard danger. But every time you stay, every time you breathe through resistance, your brain learns, I can handle this. That is how strength is built, not in motivation, not in hype, but in quiet endurance. Benkei learned nintai on cold roads, on empty stomachs, in painful training. He didn't ask if it was fair, he asked if it was forming him, and it was, so how do you practice nintai? Here is your first action. The next time you feel resistance, when you don't want to start, don't fight the feeling, don't distract yourself, don't run. Sit with it, breathe slowly, notice the tension, say inside your mind, this is discomfort, not danger. Then move, not fast, not perfect, just forward, 5 minutes, 1 page, 1 step, 1 rep. That is enough. You are planting your seed, not in comfort, but in mud, and that is exactly where growth begins. In the next part, the seed will begin to rise. We will talk about posture, purpose, and the way your body can train your mind, because how you stand in struggle shapes who you become. The lotus does not rise by accident. It does not drift upward. It does not wander. It rises with direction, slow, steady, certain. This stage is called shizei, the posture of purpose. In ancient Japan, warriors believed your body is not separate from your mind. How you stand, how you breathe, how you move, shapes how you think. A slouched body tells the mind, I am tired, I am weak, I am unsure. A grounded body tells the mind, I am ready, I am steady, I am here. Modern science agrees this is called embodied cognition. Your posture changes your confidence, your breath changes your focus, your movement changes your belief. You don't wait to feel strong to stand strong. You stand strong. So your mind can follow. Samurai never entered battle folded inward, even afraid. They stood with purpose, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement in its presence. The lotus teaches the same lesson. As it pushes through dark water, it doesn't collapse, it doesn't bend away, it rises, and every inch upward changes its identity. So how do you use shizei? Before you face something hard, before you open that book, before you start that task, before you walk into that fear, change your posture, sit tall, drop your shoulders, breathe deep into your chest, set your jaw gently, plant your feet, then say quietly, I move with purpose. And then, move, not perfectly, not confidently, but intentionally. Your mind will begin to follow your body. You are teaching it. This is who I am now. Benkei walked into hardship, not like a victim, but like a student. Every step said, this is shaping me. And slowly, that posture became his nature. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Posture is always available. You can always stand different, breathe different, move different, and when you do, you rewrite your inner voice. In the next part, we will talk about reflection, how the lotus sees the light, even while still in the mud, how warriors use reflection to build clarity instead of pride, and how you can use it to stay moving forward. As the lotus rises, it begins to see light, not fully yet, not clearly yet, but it reflects it. Even while still surrounded by mud, it can see what it is becoming. This stage is called kanso, the reflection of growth. In ancient warrior traditions, reflection was not pride, it was not ego, it was clarity. Samurai reflected to ask, what am I becoming? What is changing in me? What still needs work? Not to feel superior, but to stay honest. Modern psychology supports this. Self-reflection increases resilience, it strengthens motivation, it builds meaning, because the brain needs evidence. That effort is working. If you never pause to see your progress, your mind will believe nothing is changing, even when everything is. That is how people quit, not because they are weak, but because they feel invisible. So reflection is not luxury, it is fuel. Here is your action. Once a week, stop. Ask yourself, what did I face that was hard? What did I finish that I wanted to avoid? What did I learn about myself? Write it down, even if it feels small. One workout, one honest talk, one day you didn't quit. Small proof becomes strong belief. Benkei didn't measure greatness in glory. He measured it in endurance. Cold survived, miles walked, battles faced, each one whispered, "You are changing." And so are you. You are not who you were. When you first felt the mud, you are already rising. In the final part, we will talk about blooming, not in perfection, but through struggle, where discipline becomes identity, and hard things become your path. The lotus does not bloom because life is easy. It blooms because it survived what was hard: cold water, heavy mud, darkness, pressure. Every inch of its beauty was earned through resistance. This final stage is called koka, the bloom through struggle for the warriors of the past. This stage meant transcendence, not becoming perfect, but becoming disciplined, not becoming fearless, but becoming steady, not escaping pain, but giving it purpose. This is where discipline becomes identity. You no longer ask, should I do the hard thing? You say, this is who I am. Modern science calls this neuroplasticity. Your brain changes based on repetition. The more you choose discomfort with meaning, the easier it becomes, not because the path is softer, but because you are stronger. At first, effort feels heavy. Later, it feels normal. Eventually, it feels necessary. This is how people change, not through one big moment, but through many small, hard choices. Benkei did not become legendary. In a single battle, he became legendary because he never turned away. Cold after cold, battle after battle, pain after pain, each one said, I am still here. And that became his power. So how do you live koka? Make discomfort a daily practice, not to punish yourself, but to train your identity. Every day, choose one hard thing that matters. Wake up early once, train when you don't want to, finish what you start, speak when it's uncomfortable, stay when quitting is easier, not for pain, for purpose. You are not trying to suffer, you are trying to grow. The bloom does not happen in comfort, it happens after the climb. Samurai were not superhuman, they were trained. The lotus is not magic, it is patient, and both teach the same truth. Growth never comes from ease, it comes from facing the mud, rising through it, and blooming anyway. So the next time your mind says, this is too hard, remember the lotus, remember Benkei, and remember, greatness does not come from talent alone. It comes from trained effort. Use nintai, endure, practice shise, move with purpose, reflect with kanso, see your growth, and bloom with koka. Become who you train to be. That is the Lotus Method. That is how you rewire your mind for hard things. And now I ask you, what is one hard thing you will face today? Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your story. Until next time, keep rising and keep growing.